Well, hello everyone. How are we? Everybody's here. Everybody's in. Can you hear me? Okay. Can I get a 1 in the chat to make sure my audio is fine? I'm going to make sure I'm not too loud. Y'all know how that is sometimes. Yep. See, it always resets. I have to turn it myself down. Every time this thing resets itself. It's good to see everybody. Excuse me. There's a lot of you guys in here that I haven't seen in a while. I stopped doing Brooks videos and y'all go away. Whatever. Mm, I won't take it personal whatsoever. No, we put up a video today, and it was about where Brooks was relocated to and why he was relocated there. And we also talked a little bit about the prison. So just in like messing with that, and then yesterday we watched some of his clips. I thought, you know what? Let's do a Friday or Saturday night and do this because we haven't done this in a while. Mark said Kerry couldn't get a date tonight, I guess. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your support. I do appreciate that. But I will remind you that you're here in the chat as well. So, yeah. Yeah, we just started. I just started. I wanted to give everybody time to come in, and it looks like everybody's here. Now, I'm just picking some of these clips that we've done in the past that I've already clipped down. I might have to pull some if some music starts that I don't have the copyright to anymore because I can't redo it. But want to remind everybody that if you do discuss what happened to him over at the new facility, be careful of your words and be careful of any kind of bullying. You guys, YouTube is watching us, and I am not being paranoid. I swear to you, I know they're watching me. So that means they're watching my channel. So just be careful because it's not just me that can get in trouble. You too can get in trouble and not be allowed to comment and stuff anymore. So just to let you know. All right, let's get to it. Fellow He Kiki Club members. Wait, where's this at? Right here. That's what I want right there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, and he's going to be sad too when he comes in, you guys. He's got a sad heart. He's all like, oh, poor is me. Poor is me. Did I hit the play button? I did. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
He's just not feeling very well. He's a little emotional. That's what he said. He's a little emotional.
All right, we are. Oh, let's get all of our audio on. All right, we are back on the record. It is 1:07 p.m.
Oh, cool, Garrett.
Appearances are as they were previously. Mr. Brooks is in the courtroom. He is in jail attire.
Can I get a hee and a kiki
choice.
in the chat because he's a little emotional right now? Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that, Harry, because I don't know anything about that area or anything.
Continue with testimony.
No,
Just
thank you.
Check. All right, Mr. Brooks, anything you want to address at this point?
Yes. Yes, Patty, it was. Well, they had gone to lunch.
To see his head
an hour later.
Over, but I thought I saw him shaking his head.
Oh, you guys, this is me live again. I want to say something really quickly. When I first started doing videos, or when I first started doing these clips and stuff, this was the first trial I ever did. And so I did talk over more than I do now. So I apologize. Um, if I talk too much in some of these clips, I'm pulling myself down. And we're going to watch a different clip, okay? So y'all let me know if I'm being a little bit too chatty. All right, back to it.
No, but I'll ask one more time, Mr. Brooks, anything you want me to address before the jurors are brought out to continue with testimony from witnesses?
Just a little emotional.
Right? Oh, Lori.
All right. Let's bring the jury out. We'll
Oh,
continue. I
you guys
presume
are
the state
cracking
has
me
a
up.
witness available. All right. Thank you.
Oh, Carter. Garrett. He is controlling the moment. Yeah, he's controlling time in the court as much as he possibly can. You're absolutely right, Cachito. It's like, I just need a minute. Because I just need a minute. I'm going through it. Whatever.
Mr. Brooks, the jury is headed out, but
Did he just say
going
subject
to
matter
hold off on
jurisdiction?
that, and at the next appropriate time when they're not on their way in, I can address whatever it is. Or if you want to pass me a
Debbie
note, you
said
can do that as well.
a hee and a kiki. I gotta stop talking so y'all can watch this. Muffin top. I know another muffin top. I wonder if it's the same muffin top. Look at you guys. He go right with his little pin insert. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look that up, Harry, because that might be something like I don't think any of us have heard about it over here. Yeah. Just a little emotional, Brandon. You could put chocolate chips in it. I just like it plain. I just like the peanut butter cookies plain. I got a great recipe for a banana split cake too. Oh my gosh, it's to die for. But it's a lot of butter. Bluesy, what's going on with you? Hey, Kathy. You're not that late, Kathy. We've been hee-heeing and kikiing. Oh, Debbie, she's got that eye drop case right now. And I had a couple of you guys that said y'all went in on it. Y'all
All right,
went to
thank you,
check it out,
everyone.
but it
Please be
wasn't,
seated.
it was kind of boring.
And good afternoon to our jury. State may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Officer Jeremy Phillips.
All right, good afternoon, officer. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right. When you get there, please remain standing, raise your right hand, and my clerk Teresa will swear you in.
I love pineapple upside down cakes, but I wouldn't mind checking out what you got going on there, Bama.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony
It's that time of year. Should we have a members only where we exchange recipes?
Thank you, sir. Please be seated.
I'm down.
First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
My first name is Jeremy, spelled Jeremy. My last name is Phillips, Philipps.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. How are you employed, sir?
I'm employed with the City of Waukesha Police Department.
And how long have you worked in law enforcement?
I've been in law enforcement for a total of 14 years next month.
All with the city of Waukesha?
I have about 5 months with the City of Dodgeville Police Department in Wisconsin. The rest has been with the City of Waukesha.
All right. Sir, I'd like to direct your attention to the date of November 21 of 2021, please. Were you working that afternoon?
I was working that afternoon, yes.
What was your duty or assignment?
I was assigned a normal patrol beat, squad area 216 at the City of Waukesha on a 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. shift.
Were you aware there was a parade taking place in downtown Waukesha that afternoon?
I was aware that there was a Christmas parade downtown Waukesha.
Were you directly assigned to work the parade?
I was not assigned to work the parade.
You said you were one of the officers that was just involved in general patrol of the city that afternoon.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. I'd like to direct your attention to time around 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon. Do you recall getting dispatched to Frame Park?
I do recall being dispatched there, yes.
Do you know the exact time you were dispatched?
I believe it was 4:52 p.m. approximately there.
Okay. And where is Frame Park located?
Frame Park is rather large, but it's generally located in the downtown area off of White Rock Avenue and Baxter Avenue.
What was the nature of the complaint you were responding to?
I received a complaint to respond in emergency fashion, which means light and siren, for subjects fighting in the park with a knife allegedly involved.
Where were you coming from?
I was in the patrol area of East Moreland, roughly at East Main Street at the time. That's where I was responding from.
Was Main Street shut down at the time for the parade?
Main Street where I was responding from was not, no.
Okay. I guess let me ask a better question. Were you able to travel along Main Street to get to Frame Park? From where you were located to get to where you needed to go? Did you travel on Main Street?
I did not travel on Main Street to get to Frame Park.
Okay. And which direction did you come in from then?
I came in on East Moreland, westbound, to White Rock Avenue, westbound.
And as you approached the area, could you see individuals associated with the parade?
Yes, I could, as I neared the vicinity.
What do you remember seeing?
Thank you, Penny.
As I neared the vicinity of White Rock Avenue at Baxter, directly in front of me appeared to be a unmarked patrol vehicle, silver in color, which was blocking the roadway at White Rock Avenue and Hartwell Avenue. And I believe off to the side, I could also see a marked patrol vehicle.
Could you see any floats or people participating in the parade?
At that particular time, as I arrived in the vicinity, I did not. I just saw the side of a squad car with emergency lights activated. It wasn't until a little while later I saw that there were floats and such on the other side of that patrol vehicle.
The silver colored SUV with lights, red and blue lights activated. Do you know whose squad car that was?
That belonged to Sergeant Dave Warner.
I'm drinking
Where did
coffee,
you
y'all.
go?
When I arrived to the area, initial dispatch information stated that this alleged fight involving a knife was somewhere in the vicinity of the Shootsy building where the boat ramp was. Based on my training and experience of that vicinity, I know that the boat rental checkout is on the back side of the Shootsy building. So that's the initial area I responded to and where my attention was drawn to.
This time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask your permission to put up Exhibit 1, which is the map of the area we've been working off of.
Permission granted. Yes.
Y'all
You
are
see
so
that item
funny.
in front of you, Officer Phillips, on the screen?
I do now.
Okay.
Oh, it needs to be public. Hold on.
So that is a touch screen in front of you. If you want to draw or circle or anything like that, you may, or you can just simply talk. I'd like you to identify for us where you came in.
All right, y'all, give a shout out to new member Bethany Jean. She's now part of the Hee and the Kian Club. Woohoo!
To the area.
Well, it's not really blowing up. So
No, if you want it blown up, we blow it up from our table. Sorry. We'll zoom in.
if you wouldn't mind, where it says Frame Park in the upper right-hand corner, that would be, looks like the vicinity that I probably responded to. I would need to see a bigger image.
Is that good?
That will suffice.
Okay.
So I responded in a direction on White Rock Avenue, coming this way. This now is Baxter Avenue, which I would have made a right-hand, that will suffice.
Okay,
So I
know what? Keep
responded in a
skipping.
direction on White Rock Avenue. Coming this way. This now is Baxter Avenue, which I would have made a right-hand turn onto. And right about in this parking lot area is where the Shootsy building exists. And then there would
Lori's
be
your
a
mom?
boardwalk and some trails behind that where the boat ramp would be.
okay. And you drove in that area first, right?
Correct.
What were you looking for?
At that time, I was looking for anybody suspicious that may be involved in a fight, somebody carrying a weapon, somebody that might have been battered and bruised or obviously injured or in need of help.
Okay. Did you see anybody?
I did not.
Did you drive around a little bit?
I drove around in the parking lot of the Shootsy building. There was another officer already on scene who, from my understanding, was already on foot in and around the vicinity of the Shootsy building and advised that they could not find anybody at the Shootsy building.
Okay. Officer Phillips, do you see White Rock School on this map?
I do, yes.
Could you put an X on White Rock School?
White Rock School is this elongated building right here. So we'll draw a large X through it.
Okay. And you said the roadway running parallel to White Rock to the north is Baxter?
Correct.
Okay. And Baxter is the road closest to the river. There's no other roads that run along the river there. Just like a walking path or something, correct?
Show.
Um,
We love your mama,
Another officer's out on foot. What do you do?
Bethany.
At this point, the officer came over the radio and stated he could not find anybody in the vicinity. I was listening and monitoring the radio, and at some point, what I thought was a reserve officer came over and said that they were speaking with a couple of subjects potentially involved. So at that time, I got on the radio and said I was going to attempt to meet with the caller, because I didn't exactly know who this reserve officer was speaking to, how many subjects were involved, if they were actually involved or just a witness to the situation. All of that information was completely unbeknownst to me, so I decided I should probably go meet with a reserve officer and figure out who these subjects are and what the involvement was.
John.
This reserve officer was working as part of the parade, is that right?
He was in the vicinity right at Sergeant Dave Warner's location.
Okay. So did you drive down there?
I started to drive in that general direction towards White Rock Avenue and Hartwell, which is where Dave Warner and Reserve Officer Trout
DDB.
would have been. Before I could fully reach that intersection, there was approximately 3 subjects off to my right-hand side on the sidewalk that were yelling, screaming, and waving, like flagging me down. The way that they were doing this, they appeared to be in distress. They appeared that they needed immediate help, and certainly appeared that they needed to speak with somebody in law enforcement.
Can you put a small X on the map in the approximate area where you met up with these 3 individuals, or they were waving at you?
It would have been about halfway between Baxter and where Sergeant Warner's squad was parked. So again, this is going to be an approximation.
Thank you,
but I'm gonna
Stacy
put that
B.
X right about here.
Okay.
Y'all start talking about his grossness
So,
again.
I
Y'all-
assume you pulled over.
I pulled over, I rolled down my passenger window, and 2 of the subjects started yelling that their friend had been assaulted. So it was right at that point that they started trying to tell me that their friend had been assaulted, that information came over the radio on the primary dispatch channel that something had happened downtown and somebody had been hit. So at that point, my attention started to get a little bit diverted, because hearing that on the radio is not something that just happens every day. That perks you up pretty quickly to figure out, that could be a serious injury, that could be more officers needed, something that affects. That took my attention away briefly. As I looked back at the subjects, they started to again say that their friend had been assaulted. So I said, hold on, let me pull over so I can get out, so I can speak with you directly in person and figure out what's going on. I
Is
pulled
that
my
what you
squad
did?
over.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I pulled my squad over. I exited my driver's side of the vehicle, came around to the front of my vehicle when a short black female who was wearing what appeared to be a blue coat and blue jeans walked in the front of my patrol vehicle. There was 2 other subjects that were with her, and they started to indicate that she had been assaulted by a boyfriend of some type. I started to talk to the female who had the blue coat on, and I said, okay, I said, well, what happened? Who is this person? And she tried to downplay what happened. She didn't want to be cooperative. She made comments to the effect of nothing happened. It was just a verbal argument. I'm fine. I just want to leave.
Did
So-
you see any injury on her?
So at that time, I did. The two
Garrett said he's upset because his rap video is crap.
subjects that were with her tried to tell her that they said, no, Erica, you need to tell him what happened. And on it, she had an obvious black eye on one side of her face. The other eye also looked like it was swollen, but it was appear that she had facial injuries that were obvious.
You said they referred to this person by the name of Erica, is that right?
Yes,
Did you eventually ask this person for her name?
I did eventually ask for her name, yes.
What did she tell you?
She told me that her full name was Erica Patterson and that her date of birth was 10/7 of 1990.
Okay. And were you going to investigate her complaint further?
I was attempting to investigate the complaint further, yes.
And then what happened?
So as I was speaking to this woman who identified herself as Erica, along with the two other people that were with her who I did not identify, the calls on the radio at that point were 1078 after 1078 after 1078.
Okay, what does that mean?
So 1078 in law enforcement jargon is officer needs immediate assistance right now, all available units. As that was being called multiple times, other people were coming on the radio and stating there were subjects down in the street, then it was 10 people down, then it was 15, then it was to 30 or 40. And I had to make a decision at that point, speaking with the subjects, particularly the one who appeared to be involved and the most injured, who was not being cooperative with me, that the greater danger and the clear and present threat that was happening downtown had to draw my attention. I had to leave.
All right. The events that you've described for us so far, are those all captured on your squad video, sir?
Yes,
And at that time, in November of 2021, were you wearing a body camera?
I was not wearing a body camera at that time.
So you had a video recording device in your squad car, correct? But when you exit your squad, it's no longer recording your activities unless you can be seen on the camera in front of the squad, correct?
I have an audio recording device on my person that is synced and connected to my squad exterior windshield camera.
Okay. And that camera in your squad is stationary, is that correct, sir?
Yes,
Okay. Eventually then, do you leave the area where you're speaking with Erica and the other two individuals and go to Main Street?
I leave the area. I tell her I'm sorry that I had to go. I went down White Rock, navigated float traffic, went down East Main Street in a westbound direction, and eventually came to East Main Street at Barstow Street, where I exited my patrol vehicle.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Oh, yes.
I want to
Before
play
I move
some
away
kind
from
of game at
Exhibit
some
1,
point,
could we
Barbara.
Please get a screenshot, Madam Clerk, of the drawings by Officer Phillips, and then I'm gonna ask to switch to Exhibit 6, please.
So for purposes of the record, I believe I'm at 1C for the capturing using the annotation feature.
Think we agree with that? Yes. All right, officer, you see, we've now put Exhibit 6 on your monitor. It's not yet displayed for the courtroom. Do you see Exhibit 6 on your monitor?
Yes,
Do you recognize this, or do you want us to play it for a few seconds?
I recognize what I'm looking at.
Okay. Do you believe this to be a truthful and accurate recording from your squad video that afternoon, sir?
I haven't listened to it at this point, but I would believe if it's from what I'm looking at, it would be accurate to my squad video, yes.
Okay. And you ultimately saved your squad video and submitted it to be used as evidence in this case, correct, sir?
Yes, I did.
All right. And this is a clip from that squad video?
It appears to be, yes.
Okay. Move to admit and permission to publish Exhibit 6, please.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grounds we haven't seen, what's in the video.
Your objection is noted. It is overruled. Exhibit 6 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
All right, so for the record, this clip is about 6 minutes long. It exactly ends at the 5:59 mark, but we're going to play it through, Officer Phillips, and I may ask Ms. Gussie to pause at times so you can kind of describe what's going on in the video. But if you can just orient us what we're looking at right now, please, before we start playing.
So this is an orientation. This would be White Rock Avenue facing a southwesterly direction that will go directly to Main Street. This right here is Baxter Street. And then what you're looking at on the right-hand corner is White Rock Elementary School.
What about way down in the distance? It looks perhaps like it's a church steeple.
So you can see what looks like the church steeple down. That's going to be Main Street down there. And particularly of note, you can see what looks to be a silver colored car in the center of the roadway. That is Sergeant Warner's unmarked SUV patrol vehicle.
Okay, now
I'd just like to make a record when he was pointing and saying this, at least initially, he was using his right hand pointing to the roadway that's depicted in the still of this video image. He also said over here, or this is Baxter. You can see about midway in the frame a street sign, and there's a street that intersects. That's where he was pointing to, that particular street. Again, I believe that was Baxter. I believe the rest of his comments comport with the record and don't need further explanation or at least verification by the court. So
Candy
go ahead.
corn
All
will
right,
never
thank
be
you.
the same. Thanks a lot, Show
Okay, we're
Poodles.
gonna
We
go
all
ahead
appreciate
and
that,
start to play. We're
especially
at
me
the
and Debbie.
0 mark right now. Where are you going now? Pause, please. I'm sorry. 9 second. We're pausing. Go ahead, officer.
So what you're looking at here is Baxter Street. And right off to your right-hand side, I get that pointing at things with my hand isn't necessarily ideal. But the building over here is the Shootsy building. Where those squad lights are there is the parking lot of the Shootsy building. There's at least one officer already on foot in this vicinity of the Shootsy building where the alleged knife fight with multiple individuals were involved.
Okay. And I see, looks like red and blue lights there in the middle of the photo or the video.
Correct.
Whose squad is that?
I know one of them is Officer Nick Hendrickson.
Okay. And is that the officer that you were referring to earlier when you said another officer was also trying to help you find these subjects involved in the fight?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Off to the left, it looks like there's a bunch of cars parked there.
Correct.
Is that general parking available to the public?
That is general public parking for the Shootsy building.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and play again.
For the subject of it or claiming that this fight happened. And they were at Hartwell and May with the other officer.
Are you driving on Baxter now?
I am driving down.
The two subjects, walked down towards the White Rock School, Hispanic male, Hispanic female.
Pause it, please. Whose voice was that, if you know?
I'm not going to say I know 100% sure on that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Play.
216, no 1016. I will leave it callers. It's okay. Everybody down. I don't see anything. Resemblance must be reported. I got it. Always respect the brain.
Pause. It's a little hard to see, but on the right-hand side, did you see the individuals walking down the street there?
I did. My squad just passed.
I'm sorry,
but
sidewalk, yeah.
About 2 seconds prior, there were 3 individuals who were walking down the sidewalk. These are the 3 individuals that flagged me down on the passenger side of my car.
Okay. Go ahead.
I love that he said that. Welcome, Crystal, to the Brooksaholics Anonymous Club.
Black guy, red SUV, just assaulted North Taylor in the park. This guy, he's not hitting me. So they come across. You guys involved with a knife or something? We can check. Okay. I've already been slashed with the knife. Let me pull over here. Yeah. Hold on for a second, okay? 216, I need another at Hartwell and White Rock. I have another person reported it. Okay. White Rock, Hartwell. Okay. Right now we're just talking. Nothing is happening. No life, nothing. Okay. Who ran? Do we have a weapon? Okay, what is your name? Say your name. What's your date of birth? So, 10/7/1990. Erica Patterson? Okay. Okay.
I copy 1078.
Well, my name is 552. People's Park, female, not conscious, not alert, not breathing. King County, nobody here available now. Well, the freeways got multiple critical branches.
Oh, yeah. We're doing CPR on an individual at 369 West Main Street.
That was a good one, Tony. Thank you, Miss Barbara.
Unconscious, unresponsive 5-year-old. Trying to get in the vehicle again.
Was that you running away from your squad, sir?
That was me running away, yes.
Okay. Go ahead and have a seat, please. It was a little bit difficult to hear when you asked Erica Patterson who assaulted her. Did she tell you a name?
She did not, no,
She did not provide you with any names.
she did not.
Okay. You had her name and her date of birth, and that was it at that point.
That's all I could gather before I had to burn out of there as fast as I could.
Okay. Now, when you got to Main Street, where'd you go?
When I got to Main Street, as most of you probably just saw in the video, I took a,
Hi, who needs to know? Thanks for coming in. By the way, this is a commentary channel. So what we do here is we talk and chit chat amongst each other. So since you don't like it, I'm going to go ahead and put you in timeout. And then if you do anything further, I'll just ban you from the channel. Oh, it's easy as that. I was calling somebody out. I'm so bad. I am a bad
gesture
bee.
to him. I did not unfortunately write down the juror number. I know what the juror looks like, but I couldn't associate it on my chart. Do you recall the juror number?
I'd be guessing. I think I know what it is, but I
Okay.
don't want to be
Sure.
correct on that. But we can have the civilian bailiff provide us with that information.
I don't know if we want to do, have that juror come out just to confirm. I know that the juror told the civilian bailiff who informed the court. Our concern is we certainly don't want Mr. Brooks to keep raising issues with regard to specific jurors. And, we start using those alternates up. So I guess I'd prefer it to be on the record that that juror was not at the initial appearance. I know that the three of us were at the initial appearance. There was an older woman who did, I ended up talking to her during the proceeding. She was not the juror that was described yesterday or that I saw yesterday with the clothes that Mr. Brooks indicated she was wearing. So I just really would like that to be put on the record that that juror, in fact, was not at the initial appearance, and have her come in, provide her name, and do that. Or the juror number, not her name, her juror.
So my understanding is that following what Mr. Brooks described happening at the initial appearance, there was a woman that one of the deputies spoke with and warned her. It's my understanding that woman may have been in the gallery on Monday and was warned about behavior then. I have issued an order. She is not allowed back in these proceedings because of that. I believe we know her identity, and I can tell you with certainty it is not our juror. So, and if there's anything else, any other requests, I don't think it's necessary to bring that juror out, given that record. But I will certainly do that if the state feels, or Mr. Brooks, that that's important for their understanding or confirmation at this point.
Yeah, and I think what would be important is to note if her full number is the first 41. Mr. Brooks actually was in court on day one of jury selection. I know for a fact. I'm in looking at my notes. It's unclear to me if he was present at any time in day two of jury selection. I know he was in day one. So his claim that he was unable to see the juror at the time, obviously if it's a juror from day one, he was
Able to see her because he was in court with her. So that would also be something, I guess, if we could establish that she was part of the first 41, then I think the record is clear that the defendant was in court when the first 41 were brought out, and therefore he could have objected at that time.
Annie, you hit it on the nail on the head. No response whatsoever. And you guys heard that. Did y'all hear? I'm not playing it again, but
I will get confirmation of the number. And we'll go from there as well. Any requests as relates to that, Mr. Brooks?
Before I get to that whole issue, Your Honor, if I may, I would like to state for the record, and would like the record to reflect that I personally don't identify by that name. I am here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value in return for value all the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in the charging instruments.
Your statements are noted for the record, sir. All right, as to the issue of the juror,
Thank you, Joe. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your
As
support.
far as the issue of the juror, I was maybe briefly present when the first wave of jurors were brought in. I didn't recall really being in here long enough to really get a look at the jurors coming in because I was removed at that time. Actually, either they were coming in or shortly after they were brought in, I was removed. I definitely was not present for the second and third wave. I was in the other courtroom, so it would be, I can't see the jurors from the other courtroom on the monitor, so it wouldn't possibly be that I would have seen the juror that I was referring to yesterday.
understanding that that may very well be true, my recollection is you were removed pretty quickly due to an interruption early on. I don't have my notes in front of me as to when you were brought in or not. But I am advising you that I was able to confirm with others, including law enforcement, that the juror that you suspected was the
Wait. Hang on, guys. I don't know what I just did. I don't know what I just did. I think I hit the wrong button. Hang on. I apologize. Stick with me. Please don't go anywhere. I hit the wrong button and I guess I jumped to another stream. My apologies. Because I know that who is you guys? I'm losing it. Who is this girl Losing it. running this channel? She got her stuff together.
question that's being posed at this
Hey,
point.
Tina Marie.
I did conduct some more investigation after my involvement in the entire mass casualty incident. When I went back to the police department afterwards, and I was able to verify that Erica Patterson had been involved in other police cases outside of Waukesha.
And specifically, could you find anything linking Miss Patterson to the defendant, Daryl Brooks?
Hearsay.
Overruled.
I did give him the finger,
I did
Noreen.
find information through our reporting system and other law enforcement sources to directly link Erica Patterson to Daryl Brooks. Yes.
And did that information also directly link Daryl Brooks to a vehicle described as a red SUV?
Yes, it did.
Gag me with a COVID test. John, I did put the troll in the other courtroom. Thank you, Barbara. Did I go too far back, you guys?
I don't have
We
any
need
other
a group
questions for this
shot.
witness at this time, Your Honor.
We
All
need
right,
a
thank
chat.
you. Mr.
A
Brooks, you
chat
may
chocolate.
start your cross-examination.
We need a chat chocolate, y'all.
I notice, Officer Phillips, you are in uniform this afternoon. Were you scheduled to work today?
Yes.
So it would be
Hey, Sean.
fair to say that you would be on duty as of now if you weren't giving testimony in this matter.
I would be on duty right now, yes.
So it will also be fair to ask if it would be
What's in my coffee?
fair to say that
I know,
you
right?
giving testimony right now, you're still getting paid for it.
He's such an idiot.
I am currently employed by the City of Waukesha Police Department on a working patrol shift, on a normal shift for myself, yes.
So with that,
I think it's obvious.
would it be fair to say that you are getting paid right now as we speak?
Yes, I'm getting paid right now.
By whom?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. Next
I love
question.
this part.
Were you subpoenaed by the plaintiff in this matter?
Can you rephrase the question?
Were you subpoenaed to testify here today by the plaintiff?
Can you explain it in another way?
Get him, Phillips.
That was pretty clear. Were you subpoenaed to testify by the plaintiff in this matter?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office to testify in this matter.
And can you say that again just for the record?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office in this matter.
Is the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Somebody come get him.
Do you know of any plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Hey,
Have you
Kimmy.
ever seen the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Have you ever talked to
Sustained.
have you ever talked to the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Yeah, he's perking up.
Why are you continuing to look at parties that are not asking the questions?
Argumentative.
Sustained.
I noticed you're in orange today, Mr. Brooks. How do you feel?
So in the video, it's kind of hard to hear everything that was said when you pulled over and interviewed the three individuals. Can you give a little more commentary on what was actually said?
What? Huh?
Can you clarify exactly?
What exactly were you told by the three individuals that you pulled over to interview?
I don't remember or recall exactly what all three individuals said to me, as 1078 and the screams for help by other officials over the radio were directing my attention to figure out what was also going on downtown. What I recall hearing from these individuals is that one of the individuals that was not Erica indicated that their friend had been in a fight or an altercation. So that's when I decided to pull over to try to get more information out of them. Erica, told me that nothing happened, that there was just a verbal altercation, that she wanted nothing to happen and she just wanted to leave. That's another one of the individuals said, Erica, you need to report what happened. And she still didn't want to. And that was basically about the extent of it when I just tried to get her name as these calls over the radio were coming for whatever was happening downtown that was unbeknownst to me at the time.
Hey, John Bubba.
So would it be fair to say that you do recall the commentary of the interview?
I'm sorry. Now I will object as argumentative, Your Honor.
Sustained.
What's he mumbling?
I would say, Mr. Brooks, the word commentary mischaracterizes the evidence. It's argumentative.
It is
would be
obvious and
fair to
clear.
say that you do recall what was said after already saying you don't recall.
I object. It's argumentative.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Say that you do recall what was said after already saying you don't recall.
Hey,
I
Kringa.
object. It's argumentative.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Yeah, Super Trooper does not like the way Duro I know, honey. I know how you feel. It's all good. The way she handled this.
It would be fair to say that you responded to a fight at Frame Park, possibly involving a knife. That'd be fair to say.
That is what the initial dispatch was, yes.
Um, was any knife recovered from that scene, or
I did not recover a knife. No,
We're so glad you're here, Miss
did you
Christine.
see anybody with a knife?
I did not see any individual with a knife.
Did you learn who reported that there was a knife involved?
I do not know the subject's names that actually reported the incident. No.
I don't think he had a job longer than 2 days. And
From your recollection, sorry. Just 1 second.
my man.
From your recollection, was Erica Patterson being cooperative with the information that she gave you?
Erica Patterson was not being cooperative with the information she was giving me. No.
Yes, substain can be removed with a little bit of shout. You might want to put some vinegar in your laundry as well, but yeah, the substains can be hard to get out. Right, John Bubba? Thank you so much, Miss Janice. Can you hear me while looking at the ceiling? Y'all make me so silly. Oh gosh. I needed this tonight.
Do you recall if the male individual reported any information to you?
I believe I heard a male's voice. Was flagged down. I don't recall what information he told me directly.
But there was 3 individuals that you interviewed at that time. Would that be fair to say?
There were 3 individuals present at the time I was flagged down. Yes.
And one of them was a male. Would that be fair to say?
Correct. Yes.
But you don't recall him relaying any type of information to you at that time?
I remember hearing a male's voice. I don't remember what information that specific person told me at that time.
Earns my super.
Just so we're clear on the record,
Oh,
how long did you conduct that interview? Would you say, was it a couple of minutes, or?
I'd have to look directly at the squad video for an exact timestamp.
After you interviewed those 3 individuals, did you later gain any more information of the incident that you were investigating at that time?
I did not gain any further information regarding the specific fight that I was initially dispatched to. No.
no, word from our sponsor. Shout substain remover. Louise works every
Just
time you
so we're
get.
clear for the record, you did not talk to the plaintiff about testifying.
Objection. Say.
Sustained.
Did you say vague? Were you contacted in any way by the plaintiff to testify here today?
Hey, Mill.
Action irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you know if there's even a plaintiff in this matter?
I was contacted by the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office to testify in this case.
Do you know if that's the plaintiff in this matter?
Generally, in a criminal case, the plaintiff would be the state of Wisconsin. That is my assumption in this case, that the plaintiff is the state of Wisconsin.
So the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter, to your knowledge?
That would be correct, yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Oh, I love that cop.
All right, thank you. Do you have any redirect?
Hey,
Just very
Casey.
briefly, one question.
Uh-oh, Opera Chopper.
You have been asked by Mr. Brooks if you did anything to further investigate the initial fights that you were dispatched to. Do you remember that question?
Yes,
Did you in fact relay to detectives who were working on this parade incident the information you had found out about the link between Erica Patterson and Daryl Brooks?
yes.
To your knowledge, did detectives then follow up?
To my knowledge, it's detectives that followed up on any further investigation regarding the fight itself.
Thank you. Nothing else.
All right,
Good
thank you,
night,
sir. You may
Harry.
Step down.
All right. All right, let's check the chat. How we doing? I'm not done. I got 2 more witnesses I want to go. And I think they're going to be pretty quick witnesses. I know this piece of the trial because that section was so funny. Okay, we'll pull that one now and we'll move on to the next one. We good? Everybody good? You guys are y'all are cracking me up in the chat. I swear. Hilarious. Oh. This is Detective Casey Part 2. Oh, this ought to be good. Okay. Wait. There's not much here. Wait, hang on. That's the guy talking about I forgot what that witness said. Hang on. I want to move forward to Detective Casey. Oh, wait. Y'all remember this? Look, his fans. Thank you, Barbara, for gifting a membership.
This will be our last witness today. I will have the instruction for the jury before I excuse you.
Kiki and Club. Welcome, girl. How are you? Yay. John, I had not seen this guy. There it is. I'm sorry. That was on his Twitter. To do it again. Cracks me up every time I see it. Okay, so for those of you guys that haven't seen this, that weren't following the trial with us, this was put up. Brooks put this up on his on his Twitter feed. Oh, I think it was Twitter, yeah. His fans, me and some fans. Who are these girls? Okay, hang on. Oh, that's here's Casey right here. All right, hang on. We're going to watch Detective Casey now. You guys ready?
Yes, I do.
What is the source of Exhibit 14?
This is a still shot taken from the video.
The same video we just saw, number 13.
Yes.
I'm
Move
jealous
to
I
admit
wasn't there.
14 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
The objection's overruled. Exhibit 14 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Sir, do you see Daryl Brooks in this photograph?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name again for the record.
Noted, overruled.
Yes, I do.
Can you identify or, excuse me, describe the clothing items that you see him wearing in this photograph? Oh, it's not in the jury box yet. I'm sorry.
You can state your objection, though.
Leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Mr. Brooks is wearing a red t-shirt, blue jeans, and he has blue colored flip-flops on with white socks.
He had to unplug the TV.
What's the date and time stamp for this photograph, please?
It's 11/21/2021 at 13:26:08 hours.
For those of you who are not aware, Brooks was living out of his mother's car in her backyard. Now, if you'll see there, right there in that picture, there's a big thing of dead grass. That's because prior to living in the car, they were living in the tent there in the backyard. And the tent, it got too cold, so they had to move to the car. And DB had a little heater and a TV and an extension cord running to the running to the SUV. So if that's what we're talking about, if y'all are, in case y'all didn't know.
And that's what time, sir?
Objection, leading.
In, on the 12-hour clock.
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
That would be 1:26 p.m.
His house car.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, sir?
It was a mobile B&B. No, it was a mobile. What do we call it? Not a mobile B&B. What? Somebody else. I think it was John Bubba that said it.
Lee Cross.
In the two exhibits we just watched, 13 and 14, do you see anyone driving a vehicle?
No, I do not.
Do you know if anyone's in the vehicle at the time that you see it pull away?
I would assume, based on my training experience, that when the vehicle pulled away, that there was someone inside the vehicle, because in order to move a vehicle, you have to manipulate the controls, the shifter, the brake, the accelerator. So my assumption is that someone is inside the vehicle doing that.
That wasn't the question. Do you see anyone in the vehicle?
I object, Your Honor, that was the question, and he's already asked and answered. The question is, anyone can be seen.
The objections. I'm not sure what the objection was, but the answer may stand. You can ask your next question.
Let's go back to exhibit 175 and pull that up for the witness.
Would the state please pull that up? Witness only or published?
Publish.
Okay, thank you. Go. Jurors, let me know when it's in the jury box as well.
Woo, the video. The rap video. We were just speaking about this. I'm sorry I got loud. Math boy, what's his name? Math boy Fly.
All right,
Just-
go ahead. It's in the jury
You
box.
just testified that this was the alleged defendant. How do you know that? Can you see a face?
Which question are you asking? Those were two.
Can you see the face on the circled individual in that exhibit?
In this clip, I cannot see the face of the person that is circled.
So how do you know who it is?
I can tell who that is because I have watched this video in its entirety, and I can tell that it is you based on all of my contacts with you.
So why were there not any other exhibits that can give credibility to you positively identifying the individual in this video?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
I do too.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Is it fair to say that this is the only exhibit photo from the video?
Go
Can
ahead.
you clarify the only one that is shown today or the only one that has ever been taken?
The only one that's
ever
the only
exists?
one that's
Could you clarify,
being
please?
shown right here today. Is this the only one that is an exhibit being shown here today?
Yes, this is the only one that we've shown today.
And you can tell just from this exhibit exactly who that individual is.
I don't believe that was my testimony.
I'm asking the question.
From just looking at this, no, but I know from looking at the entire video that it's you.
We're talking about this exhibit that's being shown right now during your testimony right now at this moment. Strictly that.
Could you ask your question, please?
I'm going to object, asked and answered.
Sustained as to the form of the question as
Get
well.
in, Detective Casey.
Would it be fair to say that from this exhibit 175 that they're looking at right now, that you cannot tell who the circle individual is? Would that be fair to say?
That would be fair to say.
Can you clear the circle?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
And do you recall what date you viewed this video, as you call it?
I have viewed this video multiple times. I don't recall the specific dates that I've seen it.
Was it relatively early on in the investigation?
There have been multiple times that I've watched this video, some of them early, some of them as late as yesterday.
Do you recall seeing this video the same night of the incident or in the days following?
I did not see it the night of, but it would be the days following that I have seen it.
And at that time, did you have knowledge of who that vehicle belonged to?
Yes, I did.
Did you have knowledge of the usage of that video? I mean, the usage of that vehicle?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Did you have knowledge of who may have been using the vehicle?
Objection vague as to time.
Sustained
Yeah, you know that they're over there at the prosecution table going, they're probably hitting each other under the table going, he did it, we can play the video now.
as to the form of the question, if you could limit or perhaps direct him to a specific time frame regarding the use of the vehicle.
At the time of the incident?
Yes.
Hey,
And
Charlie, I
what-
think you're
can you
right.
clear that? And what information was that?
The information that I had is at the night of the incident that you, Daryl Brooks, were the person that were operating the vehicle.
And who did you learn that from? And for the record, I don't consent to that name.
Noted,
For the record.
overruled. Go ahead and answer.
Can you repeat your question, please?
I'm gonna go another route on this.
You done with the exhibit, sir?
No, I'm not.
He likes
So you're
to
withdrawing
You-
your question?
Yeah, I'm going another route.
All right, thank you.
You just testified to seeing the entire video that this still frame exhibit came from, correct?
I testify that this came from the entire video, correct?
You said that you viewed the video in its entirety, correct?
The entirety, what we recovered from your social media account. I'm not sure if there is a longer version someplace, but.
Did you see the video in its entirety? The video that this exhibit came from?
Yes.
And are these the only two individuals that you observed in that video?
Look at Leslie smiling.
They are the only two that I recall seeing in the video.
Did you ever inquire about the identity of this individual?
No, I have not.
Is that
Can
Martha?
you clear that circle?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Where's the old girl?
Would it be fair to say that from looking strictly at the exhibit that we're viewing right now, that both individuals have the same hairstyle?
Both. Oh. Yes, but
It would
one
be
is
fair to
very,
say.
very short.
Can we clear the X's and clear the exhibit?
Go ahead. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm sorry if I get excited and I'm talking over it. I got to stop doing that. I apologize.
We go back to exhibit 13, published.
Go ahead. The state would assist, please.
13. Can you play it? Well, just play it. I'll tell you when to pause if that's okay.
Go ahead. It's not up yet. Oh, thank you. We're gonna wait until it's in the jury box.
Okay.
Go ahead. Thank you. Just a reminder, it's 49 seconds long.
I don't think I'm gonna need the. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I might.
Itty bitty.
Pause. Right there, the individual that you observe. Right here. Do you see them wearing a hoodie?
The person in that photo is not wearing a hoodie.
Do you see a hoodie anywhere present in this video?
No, I don't see a video or a hoodie anywhere in the video.
Can you take the X down? From this angle, it'd be fair to say that you can see the very front end of a vehicle, correct?
That is correct.
Can you see any windows or see inside the vehicle at that time? Or at the time that we're looking at right now?
You cannot see inside the vehicle at this time.
So it would be fair to say that just by looking at what we're looking at now, you wouldn't know if anyone's already inside the vehicle.
This has been asked and answered, Your Honor.
I'll allow it, the witness to answer.
This is a whole different.
I'm allowing it. Go ahead.
That is correct. From this video, you cannot tell if anyone else is inside the vehicle.
So it'd be fair to say that you're not sure.
It's fair to say that I am not sure.
Can we pull this down?
No, he never says please or thank you, Tanisha. It's
Whoa,
ridiculous.
wait. I'm sorry. Can you pull that back up for 1 second?
Thank you,
Same
Miss
exhibit.
Josie.
Same
Go ahead.
exhibit 13.
All right. The state would put that back
Right.
on display, and there you go.
Do
Do you want any more of a plate or just the still?
we wait for the jury or do they?
It's up.
No, we don't need a play.
6 days in and he's a professional now, y'all. Watch how he's got this. He's got this.
Do you need it to go to a certain point?
Yes,
All right, do you know what point?
I'm about to it right now. Looking at this house right here. Do you see an address posted anywhere on this house?
In the photo that you circled, no.
So it'd be fair to say that you don't know the address of this house.
Incorrect.
That is incorrect.
You just said that you don't see an address posted anywhere in this house. So from the vehicle, I mean, strike that, not the vehicle. I'm still looking in the corner right here. From the video that we're viewing right now, do you see an address posted anywhere on this house?
I do not see an address posted in this photo.
So judging by this, well, actually it's a video, but judging by this video, how can you know the address of this house?
Because I've been at this house before to talk with your mother. I've seen the address on the front of the house.
Judging by this video.
Hold on, you have to let him finish because that was not the question you asked. You asked him how he knew. He can answer. Go ahead, Detective Casey.
I've been at this address before. I've spoken to your mother. I've been in the backyard of the residence. I've seen the address on the front of the house. I know this to be your mother's house. I recognize from this photo to be your mother's address at 4014 North 19th Street.
You recognize the house or the address? Because we don't see an address in this video.
I recognize this house to be the address from being there.
And had you already been there, as you say, and talked to people, as you say, before you viewed this video?
Casey's getting pissed.
I believe that I saw the video first, and then I was at the address.
So at the time that you saw this video, you didn't know whose house that was?
That would be an incorrect statement.
You just said that you saw the video first before going to the house. Did you, or did you not say that? Would that be fair to say?
I guess I'm a little confused in your question. We received the video. We know from getting it from my mother that she said that that is where she lives. So I knew that this was where she lives when I watched the video. That was clarified for
I
me.
follow you. That clarification wasn't stated before. So that's fair from the clarification of how you just clarified it. Can you clear the
You're
second,
done with
please?
this exhibit?
Thank you, Penny. You're so kind, honey.
Yeah.
All right, you take it down. Thank you.
You made reference to a key being found. Did you yourself find that key?
No, I did not.
Were you at the scene where the key was found at the time it was found?
No, I was not.
So it'd be fair to say that you were told that a key was found.
Yes, I was told that a key was found.
Your mama snitched on you. Your mama told on you, Daryl. The address on the back
So
of the
it'd
house.
be fair to say that you went off of what you were told. You actually didn't observe this with your own eyes.
What are you speaking of?
The key being found.
That's correct. I was told by two officers who I've worked with for a long time, and I trust what they tell me to be accurate.
Jim, not in the pic. You must have quit.
You made reference to there being a couple, what's the word you use, a couple ways to identify individuals. And you stated that you had spoken with the mothers of the alleged defendants' children. That'd be fair to say?
I believe I said I spoke with the mother of 3 of your children.
At that time, was the alleged defendant already in custody?
Yes, he was.
Wouldn't it have been easier to just use the fingerprints that were already obtained?
Like I said before, the fingerprints was one way. We also verified it talking to his family members that his identity.
Any reason why, or let me back up. Is it fair to say that there was more confirmation needed to identify the alleged defendant at that point, seeing as how the fingerprints were already obtained?
We were just being thorough. We were certain that it was Darrell Brooks that we had in custody based on his fingerprints and other information that we had. It was just a matter of being thorough and verifying the person that we had and the name that he goes by.
It'd be fair to say fingerprints are pretty accurate though, correct? Would that be fair to say?
I think that would be fair to say.
So it would also be fair to say that there wouldn't be any reason why the alleged defendant that was in custody would be someone else. Would that be fair to say?
Objection, that's compound and difficult to follow.
It's not compound. It's
Sustained
not
is to the
difficult to
form
follow.
of the question, sir. Please
That was
rephrase.
very clear.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
It was very clear.
And where did the interviewing of the mothers of these children take place, if you recall?
I spoke to Jessica Macklin in Iowa at her residence. I spoke to Angel Fitzpatrick at her residence in Menominee Falls.
Y'all, I apologize. Bruiser is having a pissy fit. Hang on just a minute.
Oh, can we strike that? Why do the names have to be stated?
Overruled, he was answering the question. His answer may stand, your request to strike is denied, and the witness may continue answering.
I spoke to Angel Fitzpatrick in Menominee Falls at her residence, and I spoke to Erica Patterson a number of times at various locations about you.
You said one of the mothers of these children you spoke to in Iowa.
Correct.
Why would you go all the way to Iowa?
Because initially you listed her as a witness on your witness list for court. So we went there and we wanted to verify what information she might have that she would testify to.
Just for the record, I don't recall listing anyone as a witness, just for the record.
For the record, Mr. Brooks, you can't testify at this moment. You'll have an opportunity should you choose.
I just wanted that clear for the record since what was
Can't be,
said.
it's struck from the record at this
I-
point because you're attempting to testify. The
I'm not
jury will
attempting to
disregard
testify.
that.
I just wanted the record to show
The
that I
jury
had no
will
knowledge of doing that. And if
The jury will disregard those statements made by the defendant as
something's-
that he is not testifying, and it would be improper at this time for the court to receive them.
I don't think a
Go,
record should be
next
made of
question, sir.
something that I didn't do.
Next question, sir.
It's ridiculous.
Thank you, is it Condi or Candy? Thank you so
So
much. honey.
you said you went to Iowa to try to find out what would be testified to. Why?
Objection, argumentative,
Grounds.
irrelevant, and calls for hearsay.
Grounds.
Sustained as for all basis. Next question.
Was that an attempt to prepare for what might have been said?
I'll allow that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Why would there be preparation involved in someone who might testify on an alleged defendant's behalf?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
We went there to speak with her, so if she came and testified, there wouldn't be any surprises. We also wanted to find out if there's any background information that about Mr. Brooks that would be helpful in our investigation.
So you made reference to not being any surprises. would it be fair to say that there was a little worry there?
Objection argumentative.
Grounds,
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Look at Zach.
what surprises were you referring to? What do you mean by surprises? No surprises.
Your Honor, I object to this entire line of questioning. This witness is not expected to testify. It's wholly irrelevant.
He opened the door by putting the name on the record and saying where he went.
I will allow
Speaking of opening the door.
one more question on this. Go ahead, you may answer.
Could you re-ask the question, please?
What do you mean by making sure that there were no surprises?
We wanted to make sure that there wasn't any information that we weren't aware of that may come up later that would be helpful in the trial.
Do you recall making an attempt to interview the child
Oh my.
Objection, relevance.
who was 7 at the time?
Sustained as to, next question, please.
Reason for the sustain, Your Honor?
Not relevant.
Well, the question was asked, does he recall?
Sustained, next question, please.
Grounds for the sustain again?
Relevant.
How's it not relevant?
Keep going, sir.
Did you
No.
interview the child?
Same objection.
Grounds,
Sustained,
grounds for the sustain?
relevance.
Why would you ask to interview the child?
Your Honor, objection. This
Sustained.
entire line of questioning is inappropriate.
Sustained. Move on.
I would
Mr. Brooks.
object that trying to interview a 7-year-old child is,
Sir, move on, please. 90611. It's also not relevant. Assumes
Very
facts not in
relevant.
evidence.
it was a tricky move.
If you could have interviewed those children that you ran down, Brooks, you would have done it. So shut the front door.
You made reference to, in regards to exhibit 88 and 89, which were documents from an entirely different county.
Richie.
Do you work for Milwaukee County?
No, I do not.
Richie, that's funny.
So how did Milwaukee County, which is a different county, come into your investigation in Waukesha County?
Oh.
You may answer. With the understanding there are some limited pretrial rulings that still are in play. Go ahead.
During the normal,
I'm sorry for interrupting. I started off by saying in regards to exhibit 88 and 89. That's how I started the question, just for the record.
I know. I'm reminding the witness of the pretrial rulings.
Okay.
during the normal course of an investigation, we do background on a person to see if they have any open cases or any information that would be helpful. There is a computer system that displays what cases or charges are open for a person, and it is relevant because if you are charged in one county and you violate conditions of bail, you can also be charged in another county for those violations.
Okay, my question here is, was that just another door that just opened, you guys? Because that had not been, was that held out? Did his previous attorneys get that information withheld from this trial?
And in reference to having charges in one county and potentially being charged in another county in reference to that. Wouldn't
Thank you
you
again, Penny.
essentially have to violate the conditions in one county and strictly be charged in that county?
That is an inaccurate statement.
You being in law enforcement for a very long time, it
Oh,
would
here
be
we
fair to say that you're familiar with the term double jeopardy, right?
Excuse me?
I've heard the term before.
And what is your understanding of what that term means?
Objection, irrelevant, beyond the
Grounds.
scope of the witness's knowledge, legal conclusion.
Sustained for all those reasons.
So when did you become the lead investigator in this matter?
That was about 8:30 p.m. on November 21st, 2021.
So same night.
Correct.
And whom were you made lead investigator by?
The command staff or Lieutenant Jerry Habanik.
Do you recall why you were tapped to be the lead investigator?
Because I was the most qualified person and had the most experience to take care of it. That's what I've been told.
Thank you, Christine. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, hit that like button.
Any
for me,
other
girls.
reasons besides that?
Also, because I was at the parade route a little bit earlier and I had the most information out of anyone. It took a little while for the other staff to come in. So I already had a little bit of a head start with the information that I already had learned as being there at the beginning.
And that would be in the information that you said you had more knowledge of than anyone else at that time. Would that be in reference to having an interaction with the vehicle at some point?
I would say as the totality of the situation, I was there when the car first went through. I know what the radio traffic was for taking Mr. Brooks into custody. There's also some decisions that were made early on how to proceed with the case. I was also on scene downtown and took control of the crime scene initially. So a lot of those decisions were made even before our command staff started coming in to take over lead on the case.
You referenced you were there at the beginning when the vehicle first entered in the parade. What do you recall about when the vehicle first entered the parade?
I remember a horn beeping, red Ford Escape driving around, and then you driving into me and not stopping when I pounded on your hood and window.
Driving into you, what do you mean?
I meant that I was in front of your vehicle contacted me, pushed me off to the side, and continued driving without stopping.
Were you injured in this incident?
I was not injured, thankfully.
And you made reference to a horn beeping. What do you mean a horn beeping?
I mean,
The vehicle was beeping its horn?
Yes, the vehicle was beeping its horn.
What would be the only
Anna.
time a vehicle would beep their horn?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained. Calls for
Reason.
speculation.
Look, I swear.
Do you know why the vehicle was beeping their horn?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Do you know why you would beep
He
your
asked,
horn?
do you know why? So he can answer that question.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do you know why the vehicle was beeping its horn?
I imagine that the driver was angry and wanted to get through the crowd.
And how did you come to that determination?
I've been driving a long time, and a lot of times people get angry, they're late, they beat their horn at you in a way that is because they're upset and they're trying to get past you.
He
Do you
was
know that for
Rosebud.
sure?
You asked me my opinion.
Yes, I did ask your opinion. Now I'm asking you, do you know for sure if the driver of the vehicle you observed was in fact angry?
I assume that he was.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know for sure.
I do not know for sure, but that is my opinion, is that he was angry.
Rosebud, excuse me. Yeah, he was the lead investigator. In fact, he did an interview with one of the television stations, and I do have a video on Detective Casey's retirement where we kind of looked a little bit at his career. So if you guys want to go back and look at that, I'll put that link in the description of the video once I get this uploaded.
And whom were you made lead investigator by?
The command staff or Lieutenant Jerry Habanik.
Do you recall why you were tapped to be the lead investigator?
Because I was the most qualified person and had the most experience to take care of it. That's what I've been told.
Any other reasons besides that?
Also because I was at the parade route a little bit earlier and I had the most information out of anyone. It took a little while for the other staff to come in. So I already had a little bit of a head start with the information that I already had learned as being there at the beginning.
And that would be in the information that you said you had more knowledge of than anyone else at that time. Would that be in reference to having an interaction with the vehicle at some point?
I would say as the totality of the situation, I was there when the car first went through. I know what the radio traffic was for taking Mr. Brooks into custody. There's also some decisions that were made early on how to proceed with the case. I was also on scene downtown and took control of the crime scene initially. So a lot of those decisions were made even before our command staff started coming in to take over lead on the case.
You referenced you were there at the beginning when the vehicle first entered in the parade. What do you recall about when the vehicle first entered the parade?
You're so welcome, Miss Kimmy.
I remember a horn beeping, red Ford Escape driving around, and then you driving into me and not stopping when I pounded on your hood and window.
Driving into you, what do you mean?
I meant I was in front of your vehicle contacted me, pushed me off to the side, and continued driving without stopping.
Were you injured in this incident?
I was not injured, thankfully.
And you made reference to a horn beeping. What do you mean a horn beeping?
No, but 76 others were.
I mean,
The vehicle was beeping its horn?
Yes, the vehicle was beeping its horn.
What would be the only time a vehicle would beep their horn?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained. Calls for
Reason.
speculation.
John, that's true. The map's still up there. The map's
Do
still
you
up
know
on the screen.
why the vehicle was beeping their horn?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Do you know why you would beep
He
your
asked,
horn?
do you know why? So he can answer that question.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do you know why the vehicle was beeping its horn?
I imagine that the driver was angry and wanted to get through the crowd.
And how did you come to that determination?
I've been driving a long time, and a lot of times people get angry, they're late, they beat their horn at you in a way that is because they're upset and they're trying to get past you.
Do you know that for sure?
You asked me my opinion.
Yes, I did ask your opinion. Now I'm asking you, do you know for sure if the driver of the vehicle you observed was in fact angry?
I assume that he was.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know for sure.
I do not know for sure, but that is my opinion, is that he was angry.
And at that time, you had no knowledge who the driver was. Would that be fair to say?
Well, I had knowledge because I saw your face. I did not know your name.
Did
at
you
that
know
time.
who the driver was? No, meaning had you had any prior interactions with them before this incident? That's what I mean by no. Have you had any conversations with him, talked to him?
Hold on,
saw-
compound question, ask one.
I was just giving clarification of no,
You
what I
need
meant
to,
by
it's a
no.
compound question. Please rephrase.
Before you observed this vehicle, as you say, this driver that, as you say, did you know them?
I have no memory of meeting Mr. Brooks before that afternoon.
So it'd be fair to say that you're assuming something that you don't know. Would that be fair to say?
Objection, compound, vague, and argumentative.
Sustained.
Grounds?
Sustained is to the form of the question.
How would you know how someone's feeling if you don't know who they are?
Your Honor, he opened the door to this. It's asked and answered. The witness has given his opinion. It's clear.
Grounds?
I object. Improper question.
Grounds?
I will allow the witness to answer why he came to that conclusion. Go ahead.
Like I said before, I've been driving a long time, and a lot of times when people are beeping their horns, it's because they're late, they're angry at something happened, and that's why I concluded that the person was probably angry.
So would it be fair to say that another reason why a vehicle would beep its horn would be to alert people to the presence?
Objection,
Grounds?
irrelevant speculation.
Grounds?
I'll allow it based upon his training and
Yes, for those of you that do not know, this is actually not the prosecution asking the questions. This is the defense.
experience. He may answer.
It's a possibility.
And did you hear this beeping before the vehicle approached you?
Yes, I did.
Thank you so much, Route, for gifting the memberships. She gave 3 reasons for objections. The first thing out of his mouth was grounds. Fool.
You made reference to, and I'm referring to the ring video obtained in exhibits 88, or I'm sorry, the ring video obtained in exhibits 13 and 14. You made reference to obtaining that the same night of the incident. Do you recall saying that?
Yes, I recall saying that.
And it would be fair to say that you yourself have been present for all testimony. Would that be fair to say?
That is not correct.
How so?
I was sick one day and I was not here.
Well, I'm referring to, let me clarify. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. Pertaining to all testimony since trial began, you've been present for all testimony. Would that be fair to say?
I believe I've seen most of it.
Do you recall testimony of and I'm referring to, again, so clear for the record, exhibits 13 and 14, ring footage that was obtained by the owner of 4014 North 19th Street, that you testified to obtaining the ring footage the same night. Were you aware that, well, let me back up just a little bit. How were you able to obtain that ring footage?
There was officers that went to Freighter Hospital where Dawn Woods, Mr. Brooks's mother, was working. They spoke to her, and she's the one that alerted to them that she had ring video at the house, and offered to remotely download that video for them.
And were you there yourself?
I was not there myself.
When did you yourself speak to the owner of that home?
The last time that I spoke to Dawn Woods was on August 8th of this year. I may have spoken to her a few times before that. I don't recall the exact dates.
I'm referring to the first time that you spoke.
I don't recall
Very
the
first time.
I don't recall the first date when that was.
And you did just make reference to an August 8th date. And what was the extent of that conversation?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Grounds?
Sustained, hearsay.
Yeah, Daniel Ryder did make money off of his ring video, but he turned around and donated it back to the Waukesha Fund.
The August 8th date that you referred to, was that in any way follow-up? Was that follow-up investigation?
Follow up to what?
Well, you had spoken previously before the August 8th date. So the question is, was the August 8th date follow-up to the investigation that you were already actively lead of?
I mean, everything is related to this investigation. The investigation continues every day. It's not end. It will not end until this trial is over.
So what follow-up was needed at the time of the August 8th interview? I'm guessing that's what you would call it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Objection still calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Why did you need to talk to Ms. Woods multiple times?
Because every time we spoke to her, we got different information. And at that time, we were following up with your niece and nephew of what their testimony would be in this case.
What testimony are you referring to? Because I don't recall any nieces or nephews testifying.
I don't think I'm allowed to say it.
He's so stupid.
I think this line of questioning is irrelevant, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection, and at an appropriate break, I can address it further.
You guys know on the cross, they probably had, I would think, an additional 20 questions added just from his testimony or his questions that he was asking Kate.
If need be. Please move on to a new topic, sir.
You made reference to people who were injured at the parade inadvertently. You recall that?
Yes, I do.
To your knowledge, were any of those charged?
My testimony before is that those people's cases were not charged.
You're absolutely right, Christine.
And were they seen as victims?
Going to object to the form of that question. I think it calls for a legal conclusion, Your Honor.
It does not. I asked to his knowledge.
I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question, if you could please rephrase.
Bye, Kimmy.
I'm gonna go a different route.
Be careful how you use those words there, Darrell. Certain terms I kind of stay away from. Noreen.
Do you recall serving a warrant to the Waukesha County Jail on July 1st of 2022?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall what that was for?
Yes, I do.
And what was that for? Can you state for the record and for the jury?
It's for Mr. Brooks's jail cell.
And why did you serve a warrant for a jail cell?
Your Honor, I object pursuant to legal rulings previously issued in this case. I don't think this is relevant.
I'll sustain the objection. It's not relevant. I'll certainly take it up at a later point if need be.
Leslie looks like she's smiling.
What was the warrant pursuant to?
I sustain the objection. Next topic, please.
You moron.
He did answer.
I sustain the state's objection. I'm directing him not to answer. We'll take it up separately.
It's his past criminal history that they're not letting in, right?
I'll have you continue with your cross-exam and I'll take it up later.
Oh, the jail cell stuff. The jail cell? They did search his jail cell, and I got a video of that too. Let me put the link up. It's pictures. It's not a video, but it's pictures of his jail cell. Bad prior
Made
acts.
reference to this vehicle driving into you, but stated you were not injured. Did you file a claim in this matter?
No, I did not.
Do you consider yourself an injured party in this matter?
No, I do not.
Do you yourself know if anyone filed a claim in this matter?
Can you be more specific?
Do you yourself know if anyone filed a claim in this matter?
Just in general?
Whatever your interpretation of that will be.
I would say yes.
Itchy. Grape stuff.
And do you know what that claim was?
I would imagine that there was a lot of injuries from the people. A lot of people had very extensive medical bills. I imagine that they would file a claim with their insurance company to have those bills paid.
So you had knowledge of what was filed with insurance companies?
I have no knowledge, but my assumption is that they would have filed those bills.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know for sure.
That was my testimony.
Is that the answer?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Get him, detective.
As lead investigator for this matter, where are you, to your knowledge, aware of any GoFundMe type of things? in
Objection
relation to-
relevant? I'm sorry.
Do you mean as it relates
As it
to,
relates to the incident?
overruled, the witness may answer.
I have no direct knowledge, but I assume that there are some GoFundMe pages out there. It's typical in something like this.
And what do you mean by typical? You've seen this before? Is that what you mean by typical?
We have a very loving and caring community where a lot of times when bad things happen to people, people pull together and offer financial assistance to help people.
Is it fair to say that there's a lot of communities like that across Wisconsin?
What? What?
Yes, I think there are.
You're right, J-Man. Welcome in for those that are late.
And it would be fair to say that you've worked extremely close with the district attorney's office during the entirety of this matter. Would that be fair to say?
Extremely.
The district attorney's office has been involved in this investigation since the night of, so we have worked closely.
So would it be fair to say extremely close, seeing as how you've been present for the whole trial pretty much?
Can you define extremely for me?
I would like you to define it. Extremely.
I'll answer yes if that helps.
Do y'all really, wait, do y'all really want more of those? Where's it at? More School of Laws videos. The last one I did sucked. I gotta be honest, but I have some good material for one. I've got some stuff put up. I'll probably make one more.
Particular case.
I'm sorry, you interrupted me. Could you repeat?
I believe he said this case.
I'm referring to this case, yes.
Could you ask the question, please?
Are you the only detective actively involved in this investigation that sits with the prosecution in reference to this case?
Yes, I'm the only person, the only detective that's sitting with the prosecution during this trial.
That is so stupid.
So would you explain who the other officer is in the blue suit over there?
Objection to the relevance, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Sustained.
I just want to know his role.
Sustained. Next
Reason
question,
for the
please.
sustain.
Not relevant.
He's been in the courtroom the whole trial. How is it not relevant?
Mr. Brooks, next question, please.
Nobody knows who he is. That should be known.
These are
Nobody should
It's
know.
not
Yeah,
relevant to
I
the
don't even have
issues
a
that the
back
jury needs to determine. Next question, sir.
Action or telling?
Aston. Listen to her breathe, and she's like,
I'm assuming that's asking. You know what the other one would entail.
Do you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I do. I would like to get to it. Thank you.
Please do so. Thank you.
I will.
I just put the link up for the Deebrook School Law playlist.
So seeing as how you sat with the prosecution for the entirety of this matter, it would be fair to assume that you know who the plaintiff is in this matter.
Yes, I do.
And who would the plaintiff be in this matter?
The state of Wisconsin.
Is that an entity or a living human being?
It's an entity.
How can an entity file a claim?
Objection,
Grounds.
legal conclusion.
Grounds.
Sustained.
You are aware that only a living, breathing human being can actually file a claim. An entity cannot walk into anywhere and file a claim if it's not even a real person.
Objection.
You
move
are
to
aware of
strike-
that, right?
Go ahead, Attorney Upper.
Move to strike the statements by Mr. Brooks. Also object to the question that was asked at the end as irrelevant, argumentative, and calling for a legal conclusion.
Objection is not calling for a legal conclusion in any
The
way.
court sustains the objection. The request to strike the statements made by Mr. Brooks are granted, or the request is granted. The jury will disregard the statement and the question asked for all of the reasons indicated by the stated also as a misstatement of law.
No, I definitely object to that, Your Honor.
Your objection is noted. I'm going to have the jury stand for a second. They've been sitting for quite some time, and then you can formulate your next question.
I'll take exception to that ruling. And would like a legal finding of fact.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
And that's a judicial determination.
I think you can be seated. Go ahead, Mr. Brooks. Please continue with your questioning.
Have you ever had any interactions with this entity, state of Wisconsin?
Mr. Brooks, under 90611, I'm not going to allow the witness to answer. It's vague.
There was no objection.
Under 90611, I shall exercise reasonable control over the mode and order of interrogating witnesses. Please, next topic. These questions we addressed during the initial cross-examination of this witness.
They're going to keep coming up.
And I determined at that time that they weren't relevant. So next topic,
They're going to
please.
keep coming up.
Under 90611, sir, please move on to a new topic.
They're going to keep coming up.
For the cross-examination, I will end.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom today?
Objection, argumentative,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Sustained. Final warning, sir. Next topic or the cross-examination, I will
You
bring it to
don't
an
got to
end.
keep. You don't got to keep doing that, Your Honor. You don't got to keep doing that.
It's my responsibility, sir, over this trial.
I'm informed. And
Thank you.
And I
Next
respect
topic.
that. But it's relevant for the jury to know the truth. They deserve to know the truth.
Move to strike, Your Honor.
Granted, the jury will disregard
Regret.
those last statements. They're not
Objection to that.
relevant. Mr. Brooks is not testifying. They misstate the law.
I object to that. That's not lawful law. It's
Noted.
untruthful.
All right, under 90611, I am now stopping the cross-examination. Any redirect by the state?
Here we go.
Objection to
Popcorn.
that. And I would like a
Noted.
legal finding of fact.
Attorney Opper, any redirect?
Yes, just very briefly, Your Honor, I would like to display for the witness only Exhibit 178.
Objection.
I haven't seen the exhibit yet, so I'll take
Well,
it under
I'm
advisement.
objecting still because the
You may show it to the witness.
there needs to be an answer to why the jury's not being told information that they deserve to know.
Go ahead, Attorney Opper.
Your Honor, for the record, this is a video. I'm going to play about the first 5 or 10 seconds for the witness to identify it before moving on, please.
And this seems objection because this seems like a whole new exhibit. This was never mentioned before. It was never.
I haven't seen it. I can't rule on it, sir, so let me see it and I'll
when
take
did
your
it become an
objection
exhibit?
under, I'll
It
take the
was never an
objection under
exhibit before.
advisement. Go ahead.
I haven't seen this in any of the exhibits that I have. So how could it just be created now and be made an exhibit?
Go ahead,
I
Attorney
have all the
Opper.
exhibits.
Go ahead, Attorney Opper. I haven't seen it yet. There's nothing on my screen that I can see. I see it's now playing.
So now we just creating exhibits now. I have all the exhibits and this was never in it.
I'm going to do a Fisher Price advertisement graphic design, and it's gonna be an exhibit creator. Like, like the little cake, the cake baker. What's the cake baker maker thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, man.
All right, you can stop. Sir, do you recognize what's contained in State's Exhibit 178?
Objection,
Overruled,
relevancy,
overruled. Go ahead
leading.
and answer.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
I'm still gonna object. How is this?
Mr. Brooks, I ask that you
I
honor
have all
the
the,
ruling that
I
I've
have
been
all the
made.
exhibits though, Your Honor. I have
Mr.
all.
Brooks,
They were provided to me and this was never in the exhibit, so how could it just be made an exhibit?
I'll take
just
this
out of
up
the blue?
outside the presence of the jury, but I'm gonna allow
Can
it.
that be stated for the record? Can that be explained?
No, the jury will disregard the statements made by Mr. Brooks. They're not evidence, and the state may
So this
continue.
exhibit shouldn't be evidence then, because it
Mr.
didn't
Brooks, the
exist before
objection's
today.
noted, it's overruled. Go ahead.
There was a still photo shown before of Mr. Brooks
This is
standing in front of the
mind-boggling.
Ford Escape. This is the video in which that still photo was taken from.
Objection, how does he know that?
Overruled. The witness may answer. I'll give you the opportunity to question him about it when the state's done asking the questions. Go ahead.
Where'd you get this video from, sir?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
From Mr. Brooks' social media account.
Yeah, easy bake. That's what I was trying to
Your
say.
Honor, move to admit 178 and permission to publish.
Objection to the relevancy.
I'll
And
find that it's
still that's not how
relevant.
it's
I'll receive
obtained.
Exhibit 168. Permission to publish is granted. For the record,
It's
Could you please-
178, Your Honor.
no, could you please tell me the length of the video?
The length is 2 minutes, 33 seconds. We're going to play it in its entirety, but without volume, Your Honor.
All right,
No.
thank you.
No, we don't think he did. Yeah.
And
I object to that, and I would like to make an offer of proof of my appeal.
We'll do that outside the presence of the jury, but I will allow the state to play it in its entirety without
Your
audio.
Honor, I have all the exhibits. They were provided.
Mr. Brooks, I'll take that up along with the other two issues I still need to address.
But how can you play something that I didn't
Mr.
even
Brooks,
have?
I'll take that up outside the presence of the jury.
This
Your
is
objections are
mind-boggling.
noted.
This is
It's
mind-boggling.
overruled.
Mind-boggling.
actually, Your Honor, I changed my mind. I would like to play the audio, please.
Easy bake
This is
exhibit.
mind-boggling.
I want to have it played first without, and then I'll make a ruling and I'll take that up.
Okay, I understand.
Thank you.
She's like, that's okay. We got enough.
So we will play the entire video, Your Honor, 2 minutes, 33 seconds.
I object to that. Why does the whole video need to be played? Is this setting the foundation?
It's relevant. You questioned the
Oh,
officer
it's
about it.
so
You
ridiculous.
I
questioned this
question him
detective
about,
about
I
his
question him
knowledge.
about the still frame from the video. The video wasn't even in the exhibits that I received.
You know it, Stacy B.
I actually didn't even receive them. They
Mr.
were
Brooks, please
obtained.
stop. The jury will disregard his statements. He's not testifying. The video's playing.
It does not have an exhibit sticker on it. Tim. Oh. Oh, he's so stupid. Just ridiculous. Oh, he's gross.
So play the sound. I want to hear it now.
I want to play some of his videos after this, y'all.
I'll address that later.
We
Some of
addressed
his
what
social media posts.
was created out of the Bluetooth.
Angelica, that was so stupid. Buck. no job and a cell phone. See, one thing I noticed in all this is that he has a totally different social media presence, rap presence, than he did in jail and or in court. So I'm gonna show you guys some videos, which you've probably already seen once this is done, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. It's clearly like two personas he shows. Don't play his videos. You don't want me to do it? It's disgusting. It is disgusting. But, you know, I mean, we could be here for it.
Go ahead, Attorney, after the video is finished playing.
Thank you. Sir, did you see during the playing of that video the image that was captured as a screenshot and presented to you in your direct testimony as states exhibit number 17?
Overruled foundational, the witness may answer.
Yes, I
A
did.
lot of.
You were questioned on cross-examination as to your ability to identify Mr. Brooks in exhibit 175, correct?
Objection. That question was asked initially by Attorney Hopper.
Overruled, the
Yeah.
witness may answer. Sorry.
Yes, I was.
As you just watched the entire video again now in court, as states exhibit 178, did you clearly see Mr. Brooks in that video, sir?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
I believe there's no doubt that that's Mr. Brooks in the video and later standing next to the Ford Escape.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
As to this particular piece of evidence only, Mr. Brooks, you may ask questions of Detective Casey.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. And yeah,
Noted. Do you have any
question.
questions for the witness?
This when did this video? When was this made a exhibit? Because I don't have it.
Objection. That's not a question for the witness, Your Honor.
That was a question. A question. When
Sustained.
was this
As to the
video
form of
made
the
an exhibit?
question,
When was this video made an exhibit? That is a question.
I object to the question directed at the witness, Your Honor. It's beyond the scope of his knowledge.
Well, he said he saw it.
but that's not the question asked. So you can rephrase your question if you want to.
When did you see this exhibit? When did you see it?
With the understanding that you're asking, when did he see the video? I will
When
allow
did
the
you see
question
this
to be
exhibit?
asked. With that understanding, you may answer, Detective Casey.
Am I answering when I saw the video for the first time?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Why is something always funny at that table? That it would be the same thing. I'll take that as disrespect because they were allowed to say something and I said under my breath that was disrespect.
I
They
would
just
direct
did the
both
same
parties
thing.
to avoid commentary.
Okay, well, can
and
you do that,
gestures
please?
and faces.
Admonish him
Yes,
because
I
I'm
will.
always the one getting
Absolutely.
admonished.
Everyone.
I take that as disrespect too.
Sir, I'm good. Can I do my job? State's directed to avoid laughing commentary. I didn't see it, so I can't further comment. I was looking at
All these
the
cameras
witness.
in here, don't nobody see
However,
nothing.
I'm advising both parties to show
Come on, man,
decorum
this is not fair.
and restraint, to be
I'm with-
respectful of this jury's time and attention, and to let them do their job by focusing on the testimony and exhibits and evidence that's presented. Go ahead, Detective Casey, you can answer the question about when you have seen this video prior to today.
I saw the video within a few days of Mr. Brooks being arrested. I've reviewed it since then a few times. I reviewed it yesterday and again this morning, and now in court again.
You said you reviewed it yesterday and this morning. If you had seen this video numerous times before yesterday and today, why did you feel the need to view it yesterday and today?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Why did you need to review it this morning?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Because I wanted to be 100% sure of the content, and if there's any questions that were asked of it, I wanted to make sure that I would be able to answer them appropriately.
And why was this, to your knowledge, why was this video never brought up in your earlier testimony?
Objection, that's a
Grounds.
misstatement, Your Honor.
Sustained as to the
not
form
brought
of
up
the
in
question
earlier
assumes
testimony.
facts not in evidence.
If you had seen it numerous times before today, why did you need to see it again to make sure if any questions were asked, or however you refer to it? What would be the need to view again this morning something that you had viewed numerous times before?
I'll say what I
Objection,
agree.
objection, compound, asked and answered, misstatement of the facts, argumentative.
Sustained.
Did you view the video this morning because you knew that the video would be made an exhibit this morning?
Objection, assumes facts, not in evidence.
Sustained. As to the form of the question.
This is mine, by the way. 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 Can you clarify again why you viewed the video this morning?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
So you're gonna sustain everything?
It was already answered, sir. Next question, please.
And I'm asking for clarification.
Next question, please.
I don't got no more questions, man.
Thank you.
This is mine, by the way.
Detective, you may step down. I'll excuse the jury.
What you people was trying to do is not fair. Hide things from the jury repeatedly. You don't tell them all the information
Mr.
they
Brooks,
need
I'm
to
going
know.
to take up all of your objections outside the presence of the jury. I ask that you honor my decision to do that and you show courtesy and decorum.
Because you asked.
Mr. Brooks, please.
Because you asked. That's the only reason, because you asked. I see what you people are trying to do. It's not right. It's not fair and it's not right.
You can have a seat. Well, once the jury's outside of the courtroom, I'll take up the objections previously in the evidence. All right. First of all, Attorney Opera, if you can make a record as to this exhibit and whether it's been turned over previously.
It was previously included in the initial discovery that was sent initially to the public defender's office, and now we have a record that those 3 boxes were turned over to Mr. Brooks.
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name, and it was not in the video footage that I have obtained. That video was not part of it. Do you think I would sit here and be this irritated?
Mr. Brooks, I need to
something
make
that
a
I've saw?
record. So just please sit down. There's no need for you to stand at the moment.
I feel like standing right now.
Please sit down.
I feel like standing.
All right, based upon the offer of proof provided by the state, and it was provided to prior counsel, that satisfies me as to that issue.
That's
I
inaccurate.
indicated
That's
I would-
inaccurate, Your Honor. Can we
Inaccurate.
have the prior counsel testify to that then?
Not
Because
at this time,
I
sir.
have not obtained that. Right now, that was my first time seeing that as an exhibit.
Mr.
That's why I
Brooks, I
raised the
presume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're familiar with that video? Yes or no?
What does that have to do with what we're talking
Because
about?
I'm going to make a finding based upon what I viewed in that video, that there's absolutely no surprise to you. It appears to me, even without the video, that that's a music video, that you are in it, that the vehicle that has been the subject of this entire case, that red Ford Escape with the plate that's been testified to, is in that video. That video is relevant for a number of different reasons. The first of which, it goes to identification of you, identification of the vehicle. You opened up the door through your cross-exam of Detective Casey about his ability to identify you in that video. And when I say identification of you, specifically as it relates to Detective Casey's opinion that that's you in the video, of course, it's ultimately up to the jury to determine that and what relevance, if any, that evidence have. But you opened up the door for the state to show that video because you directly attacked the credibility of Detective Casey through his knowledge of it and the identification by him of you in it, because the still image was of your back.
Okay.
So that opened up the door, and it's proper. There's absolutely no surprise to you that that video exists, and that is my finding as it
What do you
relates to
mean by
that.
it's no surprise to me that it exists? That was not the issue. The issue was, how was it made an exhibit at the last moment? How does it be made an exhibit out of the blue?
The exhibit
That was
maker.
the issue. The issue
State can make an
didn't have
offer of
anything to
proof
do
on
with.
that, because obviously they marked it as an exhibit.
But with all
So
respect,
go
Your
ahead,
Honor, you're
Attorney Opera.
mischaracterizing what I said, and that the record needs to be clear. The issue that I raised was, how did this, at the last minute, out of the blue, become an exhibit?
Attorney
That
Opera,
was the
go
issue.
ahead and make your offer of proof on that.
Thank you, Judge. And another thing worth noting is the testimony of Detective Casey that this video was obtained from the defendant's own Facebook account as well. The court is well
Objection.
aware.
He said social
There's
media. He
nothing
didn't say what it
Hold on,
was.
sir, stop interrupting. We have to make a record of it. You've
Can make the record clear.
interrupted multiple times. I've been abundantly
Make
patient
the record clear.
with you. Again, another interruption. So you need to be quiet and let the state make a record. Stop gesturing at
asking me to be quiet?
Stop rolling your eyes at
Are
me.
you?
Stop
I'm looking
mumbling.
right at you. I'm not rolling my eyes.
No, you
I'm
have
looking.
throughout. I've seen it
I'm
and I've made note
I'm
of
looking
it.
at you. Okay, so are you asking me to be quiet, or are you telling me to be quiet?
Go ahead, Attorney Opera.
Thank you, Your
I'm
Honor.
gonna take that
And
as
just
asking.
to indicate, Your Honor, this court has been abundantly patient with Mr. Brooks. He challenges the court's authority repeatedly. This court absolutely has the ability to tell him to sit down and be quiet. And you haven't done that. And I know why you haven't done that, Your Honor, and we appreciate that.
Tony.
He is not in control of this courtroom. You are. And he needs to respect that. This video was relevant based on his questioning of Detective Casey, as you just indicated, challenging his ability to identify the person who had their back turned to the camera in the still shot of State's Exhibit 175. Trials are fluid. When he opened the door to that, we came up with the video, which Detective Casey testified repeatedly on direct examination and cross-examination as to how he knew that was Mr. Brooks, because he had seen the rest of the video. He would not accept that. He pushed it and pushed it and pushed it until we played the video. The lyrics of that video probably would have been prejudicial. Originally, I wasn't going to ask for volume. Then I did, because he pushed it again, and his voice and his mannerism of speech, I thought, would have assisted the jury in identifying Mr. Brooks as the person in the video with the red SUV. However, you smartly asked me to play it without the audio, and I did that, and then I never went back to that. This is all to the benefit of this defendant, who continues to suggest and impugn the integrity of this court and this prosecution without basis. He doesn't like it because the evidence is stacking up and stacking up. And whenever it does, his response is to accuse you, the court, or the prosecutors of being unethical and hiding things. There is nothing in law that prevents me from pulling something out of my briefcase right now and making it an exhibit if it's relevant. You decide what's relevant, what's admissible, not Mr. Brooks. There is no law, he can cite to no law, no authority whatsoever that says I can't make an exhibit essentially on the fly if it's called for, and that's exactly what just happened here. So I apologize for my tone with the court. I don't mean to direct this at the court. It is very frustrating. The court has demonstrated much more patience than I have with Mr. Brooks, because again, I do not appreciate his impugning the integrity of these proceedings, of Your Honor's efforts to run a fair trial, and of our efforts to run a fair trial. We have ethical obligations as well to be fair in this courtroom. We have respected that entirely. The reason I was laughing 30 seconds ago was because the exhibit was mislabeled. There was an extra Y and it said Exhibit E, EXHIBITY. And I turned around to the paralegal and pointed that out, and we laughed over it, the word exhibity. That was it. There has been no disrespect directed at Mr. Brooks directly in any fashion. So he can object all he wants, and he has made that clear. He will continue to object and obstruct the court and obstruct these proceedings every last chance he gets. But legally, everything has been above board and proper, and this exhibit is no exception.
You guys, I don't know if you were here when I told you guys last time. One of our subscribers is actually, she works at the DA's office there, and she told Sue Opera not too long ago about how we called her Opera the Chopper. All the stuff that we said, and she said that Sue was dying laughing.
I apologize for my tone, Judge.
Thank you. I appreciate that additional record being made.
I object to that.
My previous ruling doesn't change in any way that the exhibit is relevant. I indicated I would take it up because, and I'm taking what the state's saying as withdrawing the request to play the lyrics.
That is correct.
All right. I have not heard them, but I'll certainly take the state at its word as an officer of the court that it would be prejudicial based upon the lyrics that are in that video, but my decision to admit the video without audio stands. I do want to take up two other issues. There was an objection to questions regarding cross-examination. So the objections were by the state. One had to do with there's questioning about possible testimony with his niece and nephew, and then the jail cell search issues. So Mr. Brooks, you asked the questions. The state had objected. Since you're the proponent of what would presumably come in through the testimony of Detective Casey, what is your offer of proof as to why I should allow Detective Casey to come back on the stand and testify about his interaction? I believe it was with your mom and possible testimony of your niece and nephew.
It don't matter with Detective Casey. He's off the stand. He's not going back on the stand.
No, but I told you I would recall him. I wanted to take it up outside the presence of the jury.
How do I supposed to know?
So are you withdrawing that, sir?
How am I supposed to know? I think I deserve a chance to rebut what was just said. I think I deserve that much if it's a fair trial.
What information do you want to provide to me about that last exhibit?
About what last exhibit? I'm talking about the audacity of the prosecution to just put that on the record when it's it's untrue.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's untrue?
We just heard her talk for 5-10 minutes straight. Now don't nobody know what I'm talking about.
I don't know specifically what you're talking about.
There's a reference made to what I'm supposed to know about the evidence stacking up and this and that, as if that has any bearing on what I still think and what I'm still going to present. It doesn't.
Well, that's not what we're talking about at the moment. I made a ruling on an exhibit.
She's been laughing and making comments under her breath the whole time during the whole trial, and I never said nothing. I don't know what's being said, but I can tell that it's directed towards me. I'm not an idiot.
I haven't made any of those observations.
I didn't
sir.
say
What
you.
I've
I didn't say you, Your Honor.
No. What I've observed is
listen, please.
Go ahead.
For her to sit there and try to play it off as if she's not referencing to me, she must think I'm an idiot. That is very disrespectful to me. I haven't said anything about that until today. She's done it numerous times.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're
laughing
saying.
Under her breath. Her trying to cover up the microphone so they can laugh and he and key. That they've been doing that the whole time. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about it.
I have not noticed that. What I noticed are 3 attorneys who cover up the microphone so that they're not heard when they're conferring with each other about evidentiary issues or about testimony.
So why is it always laughing and giggling?
I haven't noticed that other than the one thing you pointed out.
Well, we have cameras. That's what the cameras are for.
Let's refocus our attention on what we're here for, and that's
okay,
this trial.
I'll take that.
Do you have anything you want to put on the record?
I'm putting it on the record if I get a chance.
No, you need to let me finish. As it relates to the video, and my decision to admit
She
it.
just admitted that she just now came with the exhibit. It was not that she just said, she just made it an exhibit. It
That
was
doesn't
not
mean
an
it wasn't
exhibit
turned
before she
over
made
to
it
you.
one.
So do you have some legal basis, sir, for your position? Because I'm not
What do
aware
I
of any.
need legal basis for when she just admitted on the record that she just made this exhibit up
No,
right
she
now?
didn't. That is a complete mischaracterization. Sure, she did not.
That's what, so she wasn't
Create
implying that by
the
saying that she can
she did
pull
not make it
anything
up.
out of her suitcase.
So that's a figure of
During,
speech.
okay, so what is
Alright.
it implying to? What would that be implying to?
As
How would
attorney,
anyone,
all right,
how would
I'm
anyone in
moving
my
on
position?
because you're not
How
providing me
would-
with any
how would
legal
any-
basis
I didn't even
for
finish.
me
You
to.
told me that I can make the record. I'm attempting to make the
well,
record.
Sir, as it relates to the video and my decision to admit it. do you
I
have
just said
any
that.
fi-
You didn't even let me
You're
finish.
not letting me
You
finish.
didn't let me finish either, Your Honor.
Because you're not providing me.
But how do you know I
you're
wouldn't get to
providing
that if I
commentary.
didn't finish?
You're not providing me with anything from a legal basis for which I would consider changing my mind. So the state's withdrawn their request to play the audio.
Then why play the video at all then?
I've already made a ruling on that. You're questioning the ruling. You're not asking me to reconsider it based on any legal basis.
There should be a legal reconsideration of it.
Then you need to provide me with the legal basis for that, sir.
So I'm supposed to just come off that with off the top of my head?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
You're representing yourself. It's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So I was supposed to already come in here this morning to say, oh, a video is going to be shown off the fly at the drop of a hat. Let me try to find some legal thing to combat. How am I supposed to do that?
The bottom line is you opened the door to
It
the
doesn't.
playing
It
of that
doesn't.
video.
We're not talking about
And the
opening
video
no
was
doors.
previously provided to you during
We're
discovery.
not talking about opening no doors. We're talking about being fair.
There's
Because
absolutely
if I
no
would have did that,
prejudice to
Your
you
Honor,
in
with all
terms
due
of
respect,
surprise.
with
by
all
the
due respect,
exhibit.
if I had
Right.
done that,
I am going to move on.
if
from
I
this
had done
topic.
that, it would have
Mr.
been a
Brooks,
big
I'm
thing.
advising you.
Are you
that
asking
you
me?
need. I'm advising you, sir.
Oh, okay.
I'm advising you to sit down and be quiet.
Means.
And if you interrupt me again, you are on notice that you will forfeit your right to be present
So
in
you're
this
holding me in
trial.
contempt
Mr.
for the
Brooks,
entire trial? Did you say the entire trial?
I never said any such
You said
thing.
for the trial. So what do
Please.
you mean? I'm asking, what do you
Mr.
mean?
Brooks, you continue to
That is
come at
not,
me.
I don't consent to being called
You
that name.
continue to fight with me.
I'm
You
not
are
fighting
being
with you.
disrespectful.
I'm not fighting with you. I'm not.
I'm
But
going to give you
said I
one
would have
last
the chance to make the
opportunity to
record.
sit down and be quiet so I can make a finding
Are you
as it
asking
relates
me
to
to
other
do
things.
that? Are you asking?
I don't
me
need
do
to
that?
ask, I'm telling you. Thank you. There were two other issues that came up that I advised the parties I would take up outside the presence of the jury and give, if appropriate, Mr. Brooks the opportunity to ask further questions of Detective Casey. There was questioning by Mr. Brooks about possible testimony and why it had to do with it was in the context of him questioning Detective Casey about speaking with Dawn Woods, his mother, and about a time in August. And there was some reference to his niece and nephew. And I sustained the objection. I wanted to take it up outside the presence of the jury. The second issue was the questioning of Detective Casey by Mr. Brooks related to the jail search. Do you want the opportunity to question Detective Casey about either one of these two topics is my first question.
Okay, why was it an issue with me bringing it?
Mr. Brooks, I'm only going to ask you one more time, and if you don't answer
if I don't
correctly,
understand,
then
if I don't understand what was the problem in the get-go with the question, how am I supposed to answer it now?
Mr. Brooks, listen to me, please. I'm going to ask this question one more time.
Man,
It calls for
I
a
don't
yes or no.
I don't like your tone and the way you're talking to me. I don't.
Mr.
I don't
Brooks,
appreciate it.
Sit down. I don't care if you don't like my tone. You've been pushing my buttons all day throughout this entire trial, and I have showed the utmost of respect for you, and I don't appreciate you impugning the integrity of this court.
If that's what you want to call it, that's fine, but it's not accurate.
Stop talking.
What you mean, stop talking?
I need to make a ruling.
Well,
I'm purposely not putting you in the other courtroom right now.
Let's talk to each other like adults then.
Really?
Mr.
Because
Brooks,
I've never told you to stop talking.
I'm going to ask this question one more time, and if he doesn't answer it, I'll take it as a no. Do you want the opportunity to question Detective Casey regarding either his questioning or meeting up with your mom and your niece and nephew about possible testimony, or the search of your jail cell? Yes or no?
What was the problem with me asking the
All
question
right,
about
he's
the
not
jail
answering
cell?
my question. We'll move on.
I'm trying to understand. If I
All right,
don't
we're gonna take a
understand,
break.
how do
We're
I
gonna
know?
recess 15 minutes.
How do I know what I'm supposed to answer if I don't understand? And I don't agree to a stop.
I don't agree with us. All righty. Well, that was fun. A little throwback on a Friday night. We needed that, I guess. You know, it's been a crazy week. We were all kind of bummed from that trial with Colin Griffith, and just kind of needed to pick me up, I guess. Oh, I was thinking as they were sitting there arguing. Can you guys imagine his appellate attorney like reading through this stuff? And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this part. And he probably did. And he probably he probably's already done with it. But while he watched some of it and read, he had to read all of it, but he probably watched some of it and was like, this guy. So the latest on the appellate thing is that, he went back to Brooks and said, he said, you really don't have a whole lot to work with here. Brooks didn't like his answer. Brooks told him, I'm going to hire somebody else. And the guy said, okay, well, just let me know what to do next. And he was waiting for Brooks to tell him what to do next. And the last we heard is Steven said, I haven't looked this week, but Steven said that it showed again that it had been pushed back for another extension. So yeah, it's not going to go anywhere because he doesn't have an appeal. I mean, he doesn't. She crossed all of her T's and dotted her I's, so we're good. But it's just, if we could see him back in court again, that would be craziness. Anyway, well, I want to thank you guys for being here with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I have such a good time in here with y'all. When and what is next, characters? Oh, you're going to make me plan ahead? I don't even know. I know that I've got something I've been working on about the attorney, the DA that's going out or that went after Crumbly's parents. Just some tidbits, something not kind of small. We've got to look at Marcella Chidster's things coming up next week. So we're going to get into that. That's the Swan Boat Club accident. And that was another crazy one. And then, of course, we're going to have more from the Courtney Clenny updates this week. We've got to start. We kind of stopped at the point where her parents were arrested. And we need to start that and go from there and discuss how that went through the hearing process. And once we get through that, I think it'll bring us pretty much close to where they are now in court, so that when it does come up, we'll be ready. I guess we're looking at probably late summer for her trial. Not positive, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. So you guys have a blessed evening, blessed weekend, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Y'all stay safe. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and feel free to leave a comment. Have a blessed day.